In 1991, The Commitments roared onto screens, turning unknown faces into overnight stars. They sang of soul and dreams, but when the camera stopped rolling, real life struck harder than any lyric. Some soared, others stumbled, and a few vanished into silence. 3 decades later, you won't believe how terribly time has changed them. Robert Arkins as Jimmy Rabbit. Robert Arkins, born 19th March 1965 in Dublin, was 26 when he played Jimmy Rabbit, the ambitious young manager who dreamed of bringing soul to Ireland's working class. In the film, he was the heartbeat of the Commitments, but off-screen his story was more tragic. Despite his talent, he never acted in another movie. Producers cut most of his original role, leaving him typecast and forgotten. He returned briefly to music, but fame slipped away. Today, at 60 in 2025, the spark that once made him the band's visionary leader has dimmed, his life a haunting reminder of dreams unfulfilled. Andrew Strong as Deco Cuffey. Andrew Strong, born 14th November 1973 in Dublin, was just 16 when his thunderous voice as Deco Cuffey stunned the world. Overnight, he became a soul sensation, the raw power behind the Commitments. But the fame of youth became a prison. He could never escape Deco's shadow. His music career faltered, tours dwindled, and the boy who once shook arenas aged too quickly. Now 51 in 2025, his once vital energy is weathered, his face carrying the weight of a stardom that burned too bright, too fast. Maria Doyle Kennedy as Natalie Murphy. Maria Doyle Kennedy, born 25th September 1964 in Dublin, was 27 when she stepped into the role of Natalie Murphy, the confident and magnetic Commitmentette. Her voice promised a future as dazzling as her beauty, and unlike many castmates, she forged a path in both music and film. Yet her journey was not without battles, struggles to balance family, artistic integrity, and the lingering shadow of her breakout role. At 60 in 2025, she remains active, her once youthful fire replaced by the gravitas of survival. Then she was a rising star. Now she is a survivor, carrying the scars and triumphs of decades in the spotlight. Angeline Ball as Imelda Quirk. Angeline Ball, born 28 June 1969 in Dublin, was 22 when she played Imelda Quirk, the glamorous Commitmentette whose presence lit up every frame. She seemed destined for a glittering career, later appearing in the general and TV dramas. Yet behind the sparkle lay disillusionment. Her career never reached the heights promised by the Commitments, and she often battled typecasting and obscurity. Now 56 in 2025, her once vibrant allure has given way to quiet resilience, her name remembered more for youthful beauty than lasting fame. Bronagh Gallagher as Bernie McLaughlin. Bronagh Gallagher, born 26 April 1972 in Derry, was just 19 when she embodied Bernie, fiery and fearless. Audiences adored her energy, and she pursued music and film relentlessly, even appearing in Pulp Fiction. But the path was uneven. Failed albums, fleeting roles, and a sense that her promise was never fully realized. At 52 in 2025, she continues to perform, her youthful ferocity tempered by years of hard knocks. Once the wild heartbeat of the band, now she stands as a survivor, scarred but unbroken. Glen Hansard as Outspan Foster. Glen Hansard, born 21st April 1970 in Dublin, was 21 when he strummed as Outspan Foster, the lanky guitarist with soulful eyes. Unlike many, he carved out an extraordinary career, fronting the Frames, winning an Oscar for Once in 2008. Yet his journey was marred by poverty, heartbreak, and years of struggle before success. At 55 in 2025, he remains a celebrated musician, but the boyish dreamer of 1991 is gone, replaced by a weathered troubadour whose music is soaked in pain and resilience. Colm Meaney as Jimmy Rabbit Sr. Colm Meaney, born 30 May 1953 in Dublin, was 38 when he played Jimmy's Elvis-obsessed father, a comic spark in the gritty drama. Already a familiar face from Star Trek: The Next Generation, he went on to a steady, acclaimed career in film and TV. Yet even for him, fame carried its price: failed marriages, grueling schedules, and the burden of being perpetually the Irish character actor. At 71 in 2025, his once round face now lined with years, he continues to work, though the lightness of his younger days has long since hardened into gravity. Michael Aherne as Stephen Clifford. Michael Aherne, born 1965 in Cork, was 26 when he played Stephen Clifford, the keyboardist whose role seemed minor but essential to the band's rhythm. After the film, he abandoned acting entirely, choosing a career as a car mechanic, trading fame for anonymity. That decision became its own quiet tragedy. A man who once brushed against cinematic immortality vanished into ordinary life. Now 60 in 2025, he remains unknown to most, remembered only by devoted fans of a film that once made him part of history. Phelim Gormley as Dean Fay. Phelim Gormley, born 1968 in Dublin, was 23 when he swaggered as saxophonist Dean Fay, the comic soul man who brought swagger to the band. His screen presence hinted at promise, but he never found a lasting place in acting. Instead, he retreated to local theater and music, living a life far from headlines. At 57 in 2025, the flash of his youthful bravado has dulled, replaced by the anonymity of a man who once brushed fame and let it slip away. Dick Massey as Billy Mooney. Dick Massey, born 1966 in Dublin, was 25 when he played Billy Mooney, the drummer whose beats anchored the band. He never pursued acting again but stayed tied to the Commitments, touring for decades with Stars from the Commitments, living off the echo of past glory. That nostalgia became both gift and curse, locking him forever in 1991. At 59 in 2025, the once fresh-faced drummer now carries the weariness of a man defined by a single, unrepeatable triumph. Liam Kearney as Duffy. Liam Kearney, born in County Mayo, Ireland, was in his mid-20s when he appeared as Duffy, the shady sound equipment dealer who supplied the band. Though his role was small, he became the spark for chaos, faulty gear, debts, and tensions within the group. After the Commitments, Kearney never broke into stardom, surviving on bit parts in TV and stage. Overshadowed by his co-stars, his career drifted quietly into obscurity. Now, around 60 in 2025, the face once tied to Dublin's soul story is barely recognizable, his glory reduced to a fleeting footnote in film history. Fame's cruel price. For the cast of The Commitments, fame came fast and vanished even faster. Some turned that fleeting glory into lifelong careers, while others were left with nothing but memories of 1991. Time has aged them, scarred them, and in some cases, taken them away. Yet their voices, their fire, and their tragedy remain unforgettable. Which of these stories struck you most? Share your memories below, and don't forget to like and subscribe so their legacy endures.